Hi, I'm Joe Whitchurch, and this is Free and Three, and I'm going to do a magic trick today. Hopefully my daughter Amy can help me out with this. Sometimes when we talk about apologetics, giving a reason for the hope that we have with gentleness and respect, we run into an issue in church culture. And I'm a member of the church and a proud member and glad to be as well. But churches spend a lot of time doing things like vacation Bible school, or how to handle your money with Ramses, or how to have better church growth, or how to recruit for small group Bible studies and things like that. All really good things. But when it comes to apologetics and the kinds of questions that students are going to have when they graduate from high school and go into college, like issues of philosophy, can you see the Phil here? Phil, or history, or issues of theological ethics, or issues of science. There's a great big nada, a great big zip, a great big none, a great big zilch. And so we don't understand why the students walk away from their faith in college when they're not getting answers to these kinds of questions or preparations for how to answer these questions either. But back to the cards. There is, at this time in history, a lot of reason why people can believe the truth of the gospel. They don't have to have a nada. Ratio Christi is there. And there are scientific reasons for believing. Like, for instance, Signature in a Cell by Stephen Meyer, talking about digital information in a single cell. Where does digital information come from? Intelligence. The intelligibility of the universe. Some people will say we're just a dot of order on a sea of chaos. But as far as I know, the speed of light has been pretty constant. The periodical table is staying in place, and we live in an ordered universe, and there is an orderer and there is a designer, even for that so-called simple cell. Much more scientific evidence than ever before. You don't have to go into the Scopes monkey nonsense. But what about the other area of zip, none, zilch? And that area, as I'm talking about, is theological ethics. Well, church doesn't want to talk about this. There was a guy named Louis. He got uninvited from talking at a prayer breakfast because apparently 10 years ago he talked about the Bible's teaching on ethics. What an amazing thing. Well, he hasn't talked about it since. Well, the Bible's full of ethics related, and it's to protect relationships, it's to protect people, it's to help them to be all that they can be in God's image. It's to protect children. It's to protect society. Anyway, we can talk about these things in a way that gives dignity without bad-mouthing people and putting people down and saying, you're an enemy. It's level ground around the cross. But people don't do it. They either hammer people to death or they avoid the subject entirely because they're chicken liver, but they're not helping college students get ready for college. What about the other area of none and zilch and nada? Well, let's talk about history, shall we? People will say, well, I read the Da Vinci Code, and the Bible didn't even get written until Constantine wrote it, in 350. Look, we have manuscripts that go right back to the first century. Even secular classicists believe that 1 Corinthians was written before 60 A.D. And it was written by Paul. He talks about the death, burial, and resurrection of Jesus Christ and his resurrection, and refers to him as Lord. I'm not even talking about the Dead Sea Scrolls, written 200 years, the Isaiah scroll, 200 years before Christ was born, found in 1948. We have an embarrassing wealth of riches in history. But we don't want to talk about history because history might be boring. We want to bore people. Let's have a sand volleyball game and let's have more pizza. And we can't understand why our kids are walking away from the faith, but there are answers. And we are here, Ratio Christi, one of the student organizations that take apologetics seriously to help students get answers. What's the last area of the big zilch nada? Philosophy. Oh, we don't want to spoil people with philosophy. You know what that will do? Well, part of philosophy is arguing for the existence of God. Part of philosophy is asking, what is the good life that we should live? Part of philosophy is answering the problem of pain. Why did my parents get a divorce? Why did my kid sister die in a car accident? Why is so-and-so struggling with addictions? The problem of pain is serious. The Christian answer to the problem of pain is much better than naturalism, which says it's all meaningless. There is no problem because there is no God, because there is no good. Or reincarnational Easternism, where you just die 1,000 times and reincarnated, different person. This is the first time you get reincarnated, until you eventually get snuffed out in nirvana and don't exist in the first place, and you're back to annihilation. Christianity takes the problem of pain up close and personal in the person and work of Jesus Christ on the cross. It says God entered into our suffering and pain so that we can live forever, be forgiven, be conduits of his grace. So philosophy is important. And again, this is where Ratio Christi comes onto the scene and says, you know what, Alvin Plantinga happens to be a world-renowned philosopher. There are answers to philosophical questions. We don't just have to figure out how to do church growth and how to put it on a VBS, and could we just do another game of sand volleyball and let's play whoopee cushion. Students need to be prepared for college. College students need to be equipped in evangelism. If you're sharing your faith, you're going to get asked hard questions, and that's what we love. And we like to help other people love it too and enjoy having those kinds of conversations with international students, with secularists, with professors in all walks of life and in all academic disciplines. This has been Free and Free with a Little Magic Chick. Hope you've enjoyed it with my business cards. Blessings.